During the early 20th century, as the world was getting closer to worldwide conflict, the Royal Navy took steps to reinforce its fleet. Among its projects was the building of HMS Royal Oak, a Revenge-class battleship laid down at Devonport Royal Dockyard on January 15, 1914. Launched on November 17 that year and commissioned by May 1916, she was named after the oak tree in which King Charles II had hid during his escape, after the Battle of Worcester in 1651. Royal Oak's first service was marked by her participation in the Battle of Jutland, May 31 to June 1, 1916, the biggest fleet battle of World War I. During this operation, she scored a hit against the German light cruiser SMS Wiesbaden. Even though the battle was inconclusive, it served to underscore the strategic importance of battleships like Royal Oak in dominating the seas. Following World War I, Royal Oak proceeded to serve in various roles, serving with the Atlantic, home, and Mediterranean fleets. The interwar years were relatively quiet, but not entirely without incident. In 1928, the ship made the headlines when several senior officers were court-martialed, embarrassing the Royal Navy. Throughout the 1930s, Royal Oak underwent modernization several times, being fitted with additional armor and air defense equipment. These upgrades aside, she was unable to match faster, more modern ships, and became increasingly obsolete as the world headed towards yet another war. As tensions increased in Europe, Royal Oak found herself at the middle of it once again. In early October 1939, shortly after the outbreak of World War II, the Royal Navy received intelligence suggesting that the German battleship Gneisenau and possibly other Kriegsmarine vessels were operating in the North Sea. In response, a large-scale search was launched by elements of the British Home Fleet, including HMS Royal Oak. The goal was to intercept and engage Gneisenau before she could threaten Allied convoys or escape into the Atlantic. However, the operation yielded no results. Gneisenau had already withdrawn to safer waters, and poor weather combined with limited intelligence made tracking impossible. For Royal Oak, the sortie highlighted her growing obsolescence. Her top speed of under 20 knots made her poorly suited for hunting fast-moving enemy warships. She later returned to Scapa Flow, the home of the Royal Navy in the Orkney Islands, to bolster its defenses against anticipated air raids. Unknown to its crew, the supposedly impregnable anchorage at Scapa Flow had weaknesses. The scene was set for a fatal episode in the history of Royal Oak, one that would occur in the early morning hours of October 14, 1939. In the early hours of October 14, 1939, a German U-boat U-47 infiltrated the British naval base of Scapa Flow. U-47 entered via the Kirk Sound, a route that was thought to be impassable due to sunken blockships, surfacing under the cover of darkness and high tide and slipping past the defenses undetected. At approximately 12:58 a.m., U-47 fired its first 3 torpedo salvo at HMS Royal Oak, which was berthed to provide anti-aircraft cover. One torpedo struck and had a minor explosion alongside the bow. The crew were unaware of the true cause and considered it to be an internal fault, and therefore returned to their billets. U-47 fired a second salvo. 3 torpedoes hit the starboard side of Royal Oak in rapid succession at 1:16 a.m., tearing enormous holes in the hull. The explosions ignited stocks of ammunition, which generated an inferno fireball that engulfed the ship. Royal Oak began to list severely to starboard, as water rushed in. She rolled over and sank inside 13 minutes, taking 833 lives with her, among them over 100 boy sailors under the age of 18 years old. Rescue efforts were launched immediately. Berthed along with Royal Oak, drifter Daisy II rescued several sailors. Numerous lifeboats were wrecked or taken out of service as the vessel listed severely. The sinking of HMS Royal Oak dealt a massive blow to British morale and revealed naval defense weaknesses. Prime Minister Winston Churchill later commissioned the construction of the Churchill Barriers to prevent future submarine access to Scapa Flow. Today, the wreck of HMS Royal Oak lies silently beneath the cold waters of Scapa Flow, overturned and resting at a depth of approximately 33 meters. Her hull, once the proud armor of a Royal Navy battleship, now serves as a solemn tomb for the 833 men and boys who went down with her on that fateful October morning in 1939. The site has been officially designated a war grave under the Protection of Military Remains Act, and as such, it is strictly protected. Diving is prohibited without special permission, out of deep respect for those still entombed within. Every year, in the stillness of autumn, a poignant ceremony is held above the wreck, attended by Royal Navy divers, survivors' families, and local residents of Orkney. A Royal Navy diver descends to place the white ensign on the upturned hull, a tradition carried out with quiet reverence. It is a gesture that reaffirms the promise that their sacrifice will not be forgotten. For the people of Britain, and especially the families of those lost, HMS Royal Oak remains more than just a sunken warship. She is a symbol of the dangers faced in those first uncertain weeks of World War II, and a reminder of how even a mighty battleship could fall to stealth and determination. The names of the fallen are still spoken, their stories still shared, and their memory preserved not only in monuments and museums, but in the living hearts of a grateful nation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. You can also subscribe and explore our channel for previous battleship videos. Bye for now and Godspeed.